I'm Marin. Welcome to another reading vlog. This is going to be my November Buzzword reading vlog. But before I get into what I'm going to be reading for this month, let me do a little bit of a recap because I did not film an October Buzzword. So I want to go ahead and just let you know where I'm at with things. So I'm going to scoot over because I will put the graphic here. This is a look at where I am with the Buzzword challenge. The October Buzzword was a violent word. So I did read Everyone in My Family Has Killed Someone, which I actually just finished yesterday in November because today is November 3rd. But I liked that one a lot. We'll be continuing the series. Glad I gave that one a read. So I am up to date with the Buzzword challenge. Then we will switch to the Buzz cover challenge. And for October, we were to read a book with a weapon on the cover. So I read The Games Gods Play by Abigail Owen. This one I liked okay, enough that I'm going to read the second book in the series, although it was not a favorite. And that one, I think I gave 3 stars. I can't really remember, but that means I am up to date on the Buzz cover challenge as well. So now let's go ahead and talk about what I need to read in this vlog. I will be reading these 2 books over the course of a week, although one of them is pretty short, so I'm hoping I can actually get through it quicker than a week because I have some other things I would love to be able to squeeze in and read this week as well, but I won't be vlogging those if that does happen. So let's talk about the Buzzword. The Buzzword for November is to read a book with the word never in the title. So I will be reading I Who Have Never Known Men. This is by Jacqueline Hartman, and it was translated by Ross Schwartz. And I'm looking forward to reading this one because I've heard a lot of people really enjoyed this one. It's kind of one of those books that people talk about a lot, and I've been curious to see what I will think about it. So I'm finally going to read that for this vlog. This one is fairly short. I do have an audiobook available through my library. So with the afterword, it has 173 pages. So I'm hoping that I can get through this one decently quickly. I'm thinking I'm going to do like a tandem read where I will listen to it and read it physically at the same time. So we'll see how that goes. I will read you the synopsis and things on this when I actually get started, but that will be my Buzzword book for November. Then for the Buzz cover book, we are to read a book with food or drink on the cover, and I'm finally going to be reading Legends and Lattes by Travis Baldree. This one I do have out on audio from my library as well. I have started this one. I am currently on page 54, which is chapter 6, and so far I'm enjoying it. So let me go ahead and read you the synopsis of this one because this is the one that I'm going to be starting with, obviously, since I've already started reading it. It says, an orc warrior leaves the blade behind and finds that it's never too late to chase a new dream in this novel of found family, fresh starts, and the perfect cup of coffee. So we are following Viv. She is an orc. She decides she does not want to do the adventuring lifestyle anymore, and so she opens up her own coffee shop in this town. I am not very far into it yet, so at this point she is still working on the construction of the building. She bought a very rundown old building and she's converting it over into her coffee shop. So far we have met her, we have met a being, a creature, I can't remember what he is, a hob. Is that what they call him? A hob. That is helping her with the construction, and we have just met Tandri, who is a succubus, and she is going to be Viv's assistant, and I think her love interest. Don't quote me on that, but I feel like that's how this is going to go. So yes, I'm on page 54 so far. I am enjoying it. The author narrates the audiobook, which I always really like. So far so good. But obviously, once I get to about the 100-page mark or so, I will come back and chat with you and let you know official feelings. But so far, it's going well. I am enjoying it. And it does have a latte on the front cover, hence why I can read it for this prompt. I don't know if the regular cover has that, but this one does. So this is the one we're going with. But that is what you're going to see in this vlog. I'm hoping that this is going to be a good one. I'm looking forward to reading both of these books, and I'm hoping that I will get some winners. I did not have any 5-star books in October, so we'll see what November has in store for me. Maybe I will get at least one out of these books, but again, we will see how it goes. So I'm not going to talk anymore I'm just going to get back to reading. I do have a book I need to finish today, but I have, as I mentioned, started this one. So I am hoping to get at least a page 100 today. And once I have, I will share my initial thoughts with you. So see you then. All right, all, I am about 100 pages into Legends and Lattes, which puts me at chapter 12. So far, I am enjoying this a lot. We have been focusing on Viv as she sets up her coffee shop, and they have done their grand opening where they are offering free samples to draw people in. We have met probably everyone, I think, at this point that we're going to meet. We just got introduced to a little being, they call him a ratkin, who Viv is going to have join the staff to become like a baker of sorts. We also, I think, have been introduced to the three characters that are going to cause some conflict for Viv and company. So it does say that this is a novel of high fantasy and low stakes right there, because obviously this is cozy fantasy, but we have met this group that require businesses in that area to pay them money. And it's basically a gang of sorts, and Viv has so far stood up to them and been like, I'm not giving you any money, but obviously that's probably going to cause a conflict. We've also been introduced to a university student that's poking around a little bit, and we've also been introduced to an elf who Viv used to adventure with and go on quests and things with that she does not get along with. So my guess is that those three are going to cause whatever conflict there is in this book, but I'm hoping that it'll still keep its cozy vibes. I believe it will, because that's kind of what this is marketed as. But so far I am enjoying this. Viv is pretty much the only one in this town that knows what coffee is. So she's having to introduce the idea of coffee and lattes to the general public, and they are very dubious about it. So that's been kind of fun to watch. I do enjoy Viv as a character, and I'm curious to see what's going to happen next. So that's my little update. Enjoying it so far, and hopefully that will continue. I am hopeful that I can finish this book today while I am at work. It is a teacher work day, which means we do not have students. We have the whole day to kind of do what we need to do. So I have tasks that I need to take care of at work, but I will be listening to this on audio while I do that, and would love to get this done today. So I will let you know where I am at once I am home from work, and hopefully this will be finished off. So I will see you then with an update. Hello all, here's Sage. She is purring up a storm. Anyway, I did finish Legends and Lattes yesterday while I was at work, and I loved every second of this book. I did really like the audio as well. The author narrates it, as I already mentioned, and I just felt like he did a great job bringing the characters to life. But there was just something very relaxing and soothing and soft about this book, and I loved it. So I'm giving it 5 stars. I'm so glad that I finally gave it a read. This is one of those books that I was very nervous to read because so many people have rated it so highly and touted it as this great piece of literature, if you will, for lack of a better word. And I was nervous that I wasn't gonna like it, but I did really, really enjoy it. So there was enough stakes to kind of keep the plot moving, but ultimately it's exactly what it says on the back: high fantasy and low stakes. And I definitely feel like cozy fantasy might be a genre for me because it just was fantastic. It reminded me slightly of The Spell Shop by Sarah Beth Durst, which I read earlier in the year and also really liked. It's kind of similar to like The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches. That one's more romance, but those kind of cozy vibes are definitely something that work for me. So I definitely want to check out more of like the cozy fantasy genre. So if you have recommendations, please leave them down below. I would love to hear other books that are similar to this that I should check out. I do have Bookshops and Bone Dust as well, but I don't think I'm gonna get to it this year. I definitely think I'm gonna need to like push that into next year. There's a third book coming out next year as well, so maybe I can just read those two kind of in one swoop because I think they focus on one of the same characters. But this was delightful. I loved it. There was a portion towards the end that kind of made me tear up a little bit, and I just really liked watching Viv bring her dream of this coffee shop to life. So glad I read this. 5 stars, great way to start this vlog, and yes, could not complain at all. There was nothing about this that I didn't love. So there you go. Those are my thoughts on Legends and Lattes. I'm just kind of in love with this book a little bit. So I am going to take a break from this vlog for a few days because I need to listen to an audiobook before it expires on Libby, and it's a newer release, so I need to make sure I get it listened to. But I'm going to pick this vlog back up probably towards the weekend, where I will be tackling I Who Have Never Known Men, and hopefully that one, while not at all the vibes of this one, will also be something memorable and a 5 star. So we'll cross our fingers, but this one was a winner. Great way to start this vlog off. Let's hope that that continues. All right, all, I am halfway through I Who Have Never Known Men. It is now Sunday. I got about 50 pages read yesterday and just finished like 30 more to get to the halfway point. I am going to finish this today. I do have the audiobook out from my library as well, so I'm listening and reading at the same time. You can see I have tabbed just a few quotes and things that kind of struck me as important or particularly impactful, I guess. So I just have a few of them, but I'm going to go ahead and just read the back of this. This is kind of difficult to talk about, like what it even is. And I didn't really know fully what the book was about when I picked it up. I just know that a lot of people have liked it. So let me go ahead and read this. It says, deep underground, 39 women live imprisoned in a cage. Watched over by guards, the women have no memory of how they got there, no notion of time, and only a vague recollection of their lives before. As the burn of electric light merges day into night and numberless years pass, a young girl, the 40th prisoner, sits alone and outcast in the corner. Soon she will show herself to be the key to the others' escape and survival in the strange world that awaits them above ground. So they are basically stuck underground until something happens that causes the guards to leave and the women are able to gain their freedom, if you want to call it freedom, because they do not know where they are, and they are basically in this empty landscape and are now responsible for fending for themselves. So I am currently on page 82. So halfway through. There is an afterword at the end of this that's a few pages long as well, but just talking about the book itself has 164 pages and I'm on 82. So I am halfway through. I do plan on finishing this today. I may have just said that, but anyway, yes. So far, I'm finding this very interesting. It's definitely gripping in its narrative style, which is interesting because not a ton has happened. There's a lot of just recounting of facts and a recounting of what they're doing day to day. So it could be tedious, but there's something about it that's keeping me engaged and keeps the narrative moving, probably because there's like a sense of unease. They don't know where they are. They don't know what's going on. They don't know why they were locked up in the first place. So it's all very interesting, and I'm very curious to see if we're gonna learn any more about what caused all of this. It does not sound like we are, just based on some of the things that have been said in the book, but yes, I'm enjoying it so far. It's definitely an interesting story and it's told in a way that is definitely engaging, so I'm enjoying that. This is a translated book. I have not read a ton of translated fiction, but this book and a couple others have actually made me want to add translated fiction into my goals for 2026. I actually have redone my Bookopoly TBR game board. I'll go ahead and put a screenshot right here so you can get like a little sneak peek of what the new board is going to look like. I didn't change very much at all. I just updated a couple of the corner spots. And one of the things that I added, as you can see, is translated works, because I would like to read more translated fiction. So if you have recommendations of good translated fiction, please leave them down below. I would love to check them out. I have some on my radar already that I want to read, including some classics that I know have been translated from their original language. So I'm thinking about reading The Three Musketeers because I really like that story and would love to read the source material. Another one that I know I want to read next year is the Iliad, because I have read the Odyssey and would like to read the Iliad. So those two are definitely on my radar for next year that I'm planning on reading. But if you have other translated fiction that you would recommend, please let me know, because I would love to check more of that out. I definitely need to like broaden my reading a little bit in that capacity. So anyway, this is going well so far. I will get this done today and then I will give you full thoughts. Side note, I have something going on with my eye, which is why I'm not wearing any eye makeup. I don't know if it's pink eye. It doesn't feel like pink eye, but it's weird. So I'm just kind of keeping an eye on it today and hoping that it's not pink eye, but it's very red in this corner. So I did not put any eye makeup on because obviously I don't want to exacerbate that since I am supposed to go to work tomorrow. But anyway, all of that is to say, this is going well. I'm glad that I'm picking it up. I'm glad that the buzzword gave me a reason to read it, because again, this is for the word never in the title. And hopefully this will turn out to be a great book. So that's all I have for you. I will chat with you later on once I have finished the story, but let's hope that my engagement and my interest continues through the remainder of the book. All right, all, I have finished I Who Have Never Known Men, and I am giving this 5 stars. I don't even know if I can necessarily tell you why it's a 5-star, but I just really found this very compelling. And the fact that I found like quotes and stuff that stood out to me is impressive, because that doesn't often happen. I was reading this and listening to the audio at the same time, so I was able to do some underlining and things like that, which I enjoyed doing. I feel like that kind of really helped the story come to life a little bit more for me. If you go into this book expecting that you're going to get answers, you're going to be disappointed, because you are not getting any answers. We don't know why these women were put into this bunker. We don't know why they're wherever it is they are. We don't find out where they are. And the main character, it's very much kind of a coming of age story as she figures out her own personal self rather than finding answers to questions. So I just really liked the way that this was written, and I feel like it is just a very impactful story. I can see why people maybe wouldn't like it, but I can also fully understand why it is so popular, especially recently since the re-release was done. This one that I have was re-released, I think, in 2023. Let me look. This one was released in 2022, not 2023. So this version that I have was released in 2022. There were some additional things that were done in 2019 as well. There's an afterword here that I really liked where she kind of summed up my thoughts on it and kind of what I liked about it. So I just thought that this was a really good book. That's really all that I can say about it. I don't know, as I said, like I can really put into words why I liked it so much. This is just a book that the whole experience worked for me, and I'm really, really glad that I finally gave it a read, and I'm glad that it fit into the buzzword challenge. So let me go ahead and move over a bit so we can put the graphic here. So at the end of this vlog, here is where I stand with the buzzword challenge. I have read my book with never in the title. And then here is where I stand with the buzz cover challenge, because I did read a book with drink on the cover, not food and drink, just drink, but we're going with it. And they were both 5 stars. I think this is probably the best vlog that I have filmed in a very long time. So very successful reading vlog. So if this is something that you have been curious about, I would highly recommend just giving it a read and seeing what you think about it. So Also, update on my eye. I am home from work today. Today's Monday because our district has like its own little health clinic that we can go to where they don't charge us because it's connected to our insurance. So I had the nurse practitioner take a look at my eye. She diagnosed it as pink eye. It's not bacterial though. She's pretty sure it's viral, but she gave me eye drops anyway that I now need to put into my eye every 2 hours for the next 2 days. And then I go to like 4 times a day for the rest for like another week or something. But she said if it doesn't get better after like the 2 days to give them a call back and potentially come back in. But I went ahead and took today off because this is very itchy and I wanted to go ahead and get into that clinic, and they're only open Monday through Friday, so I couldn't do that on the weekend. But anyway, I have eye drops now, so hopefully this will clear up. But that's it. That's going to be the end of this reading vlog. As I said, one of my most successful vlogs that I've done in a very long time. The next vlog you see from me is going to be a series vlog, so you can stay tuned for that. But otherwise, that's going to do it. So I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please leave me a thumbs up. Consider subscribing to my channel if you would like to see more from me. If you made it to the end of this video and would like to leave an emoji to show you were here, you can leave me a woman or girl emoji in honor of I who have never known men, and I will see you in my next video. Bye everyone.